Hey Sugar Geeks, Liz here. Have you been seeing that really cool bread art floating around Instagram? I know I have, and I am obsessed with it. So today we're gonna learn how to make it. Coming up next on the Sugar Geek Show. So we have our focaccia dough already made. We made this yesterday using just my focaccia recipe. It's been resting in the fridge overnight. I just took it out about 15 minutes ago, so it's starting to get puffy. You want to start adding your vegetables and toppings to focaccia that's already pretty much risen to the point where we're going to bake it, so that it doesn't like eat too much around all of your veggies and stuff that we're adding. We have basil and green onions, parsley, chives, thyme, olives, mini pepperonis, mini bell peppers, Parmesan, little small tomatoes and big tomatoes. You can be creative with the stuff that you have. You just kind of have to look at the toppings that you have with the eyes of an artist. So Avalon's gonna be working on her focaccia first. We have two, so she's gonna make hers first. Avalon's making an ocean, right? What things do you want to put onto your ocean focaccia?
I'm gonna put some lanternfish. Some
lanternfish, okay. We've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing, so we're very familiar with lanternfish. I looked at this Instagram account. I think it's Vineyard Baker, but it's this Instagram account that's kind of made this trend popular. And so I looked at a bunch of her different focaccia art to get ideas. Like this is a sliced piece of red onion, and it kind of looks like a blooming flower. But Avalon's gonna use it as what?
Octopus.
Octopus, okay. So I'm gonna slice a couple more. Something that you should have while you're doing this is a very sharp knife. A sharp knife is safer to use than a dull knife. I'm using the claw to hold my veggies here, and I'm gonna slice as thinly as I can. If I had a mandolin, that would be nice. And I'm also leaving the root on so that it holds all the pieces together. Oh, that looks really cool, Avalon. Kind of looks like a spider. So we got a couple of those. These little mini bell peppers, you can just cut those into little 1/4-inch pieces. And these make great little circles for flowers. And then you can also take little olives, sliced if you have them, but mine are not sliced. And these make good centers to flowers, so you can just kind of arrange them like this. Look at that, little flower. But maybe this could be like some coral. And then you can use some of this cheese to make some sand. Okay. Oh, you know what? Before I forget, you're gonna wanna put some of this olive oil on top before we start decorating. Can you take your fingers and put some divots? Boop, boop, boop. That's just gonna make the focaccia taste yummy, right? And then we're gonna take a healthy amount of olive oil and put that on top. And that's gonna make the top of the focaccia nice and crispy and tasty and shiny. So you should have some pockets of olive oil, basically, some puddles. And then I'm gonna put some flaky salt on there. Just sprinkle it everywhere. Doo, 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 doo. So you decorate as however you want. I'm gonna show you guys a little bit how to make these tomato roses. Somebody asked how to make these really pretty tomato roses. And I tried one out and it was actually pretty simple, but it was a little bit scary because I had to use a really sharp knife. So to make the tomato rose, you just take like a smallish tomato and a very, very sharp knife. Watch your fingers. And I'm cutting like this towards my thumb because I have the most control. If you're cutting this way, it's very hard to control it. So I'm able to kind of hold the tomato and really control how I am cutting this piece of skin off. And I just started at the top, and I'm gonna work my way in a spiral. And if you've ever made a paper rose, this is gonna make a lot of sense to you because we're basically just making a spiral, but instead of paper, we're using a tomato. And I'm trying to get it as thin as possible, really. It doesn't have to be huge. I skinned the whole tomato last time and it was too big. So then after you get your tomato skin like this, you start rolling up the part where you started, really tight as you can. And you just start rolling it like a spiral. And it just naturally sort of becomes a little tomato rose.
Look at that, Mommy.
Oh, that's cool.
It's an eel.
That looks amazing. Very creative. Avalon's got no problems being creative. All right, so I'm gonna cut some more of my little peppers to make some flowers. It's nice that these little mini peppers don't really have any seeds in them. So I'm gonna try and just make as many pretty flowers as I can. That's my goal. I'm gonna make a bouquet of flowers. Put my divots in. I'm gonna brush my focaccia with some olive oil to make those little petals. Okay, so I'm gonna use some chives to make some stalks, kind of like this. All right, and then I'm gonna do one of these with my tomatoes. So I'll put like one right there and one right there.
Those do look like roses.
Don't they look like roses? And then I'm gonna take some of my parsley, make some little leaves coming out from the roses. So it's just kind of like when you're arranging real flowers. You just have like big flowers and then you put some like smaller ones around it. Okay, I'm gonna make a really pretty flower here. I'm gonna use one of our red onions to make one like that. I'm gonna put another one of these guys down here. That. It's kind of fun to just figure out, you know, like what you want everything to look like.
Ooh, I want that one right here.
This one right here? Okay, I like that. These are little cut shallots. So they're like little baby onions. All right, I'm gonna make another little flower right here. I'm gonna add some more just greenery around. I'm gonna try and fill up my space as much as I can. If you're gonna use tomatoes, you wanna just like dab off the extra moisture so they don't make the bread really soggy. Keep in mind that all of this beautiful hard work that you're doing is going to kind of shrink down a little bit once we start baking. And there's not really anything you can do about that. That's just gonna be how it is. Kind of like how these little tomatoes look. I'm just trying to kind of balance the colors. So, you know, I'm using red to sort of bring your eye around. And then I need some orange. So it's not just in one spot. Move my tomato roses down, make some space. And get another one going right here. There we go. Keep it easy and just do another bell pepper so it matches. I think my favorite one is this red onion look. It's just like a beautiful flower. I'm gonna do a couple more little red ones down here. This corner. Little seed pods. It's like painting, but with vegetables. All right, put a little bit of salt everywhere. And then I'm gonna bake this in the oven for 20 minutes or so. And this is gonna taste delicious with my soup that we're making for dinner. Okay, so I'm just gonna set this aside and just like let it rise just a little bit more because I want it to be as puffy as possible before I put it in the oven. I'm gonna finish Avalon's. If you have any big bubbles underneath, just kind of make a little hole and then push it all together because you don't want any giant bubbles trapped underneath. This one's really perfect and ready to go in the oven because it's been out a little bit longer than the other one. So I'm making little fish out of pepperonis and little tails. Some basil down here. That's definitely gonna get roasted in the oven, but it's fine. Okay, now that we have our focaccia bread all decorated perfectly, we're gonna go ahead and put that into the oven at 450 degrees Fahrenheit and bake for about 20 to 25 minutes. If you see any huge bubbles developing while it's baking, just go ahead and pop those with a sharp knife so that you don't have any huge bubbles. So that's it, guys. That's how you make some super fun, super simple focaccia bread art. If you want to see more videos like this one, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm Liz Merrick. This is Avalon. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.